Hey guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Brewing Up a Meal. This is episode 3.
I almost called it a bonfire beer review.
I know, so we're so used to saying that. So, what am I going to say?
I don't know.
Inspired by upcoming holiday, which is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is in 8 days.
Yep.
And one of the things that we love to do together as a couple, not just for Valentine's Day, but in general, that we recommend doing, even if you're having a date night in that night, because restaurants are really busy and very expensive at Valentine's.
And few and far between sometimes up here. It's hard to, sometimes you have to really travel to go to anywhere where it's elegant or expensive.
So we are cooking together. So I've already done a lot of prep work, so I'm going to insert some of that footage right now. Okay, so as you saw in the intro, I boiled some water and made some penne pasta. I did use the water also for asparagus. For the filling to the chicken, you'll need whipped cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and spinach. What I did was I used all that was left inside of my cream cheese tub, but probably I would use half of that amount, so I would say it's about a 1/4 cup that you would need. And then I added a 1/4 cup of each of the cheeses and all of the spinach, which I cut up with scissors, which worked pretty well. And then we have this awesome mixture that we will be stuffing the chicken with. Looks so good. So we are making spinach and cream cheese stuffed chicken. And this actually is low carb and it's a keto recipe. I was inspired by a Pinterest recipe that I was looking at. I will link that down below, but I did make some changes kind of to tweak it in a beer-bellied fashion. So we are making stuffed chicken, which is going to be baked. And then we're making a cold Italian salad, which Dana's gonna start working on right now. Yep. And he's gonna tell you what his beer is today.
All right, so as you already saw from Eileen's B-roll earlier, she has steamed and blanched the asparagus, boiled the pasta, and has it ready for us here. She has it all ready for us right here. So what I'm gonna be doing is cutting up mushrooms, tomatoes, cucumber, and then mixing in some of these ingredients, all whilst I drink a beer.
What are you drinking today?
Funny you should ask.
Is it?
It is. I am drinking this Street Artist New England IPA.
I'm so excited. The can is so cool.
It's from Atwater Brewery, Detroit Brewery.
Yep, this is a new beer.
And it's a street artist doing a graffiti piece, very Banksy-esque.
Yeah, for sure. But it has a woman on it, which is really great. Women power. Very nice.
Right? So anyway, really cool. And one of the great things about Detroit, amongst all of the other great things there are about Detroit, yes, I say great things about Detroit, is they've got some amazing graffiti artists.
Yeah, amazing.
Like they have... People look at it kind of as a slam or a not a good thing, but I think some of the street art there is beautiful.
Yeah.
In fact, the college... CCS actually has a giant mural that they've done on the side of the building.
They were commissioned, yeah. It was
commissioned to
beautiful.
do it, and it's just gorgeous.
It's like a bunch of worms, and they're like throwing up graffiti and rainbows and stuff.
So it's just
really
amazing.
Cool.
The DIA, Detroit Institute of Arts, has some of it featured in their building and stuff like that. It's just so it's really cool. Love the fact that they do a shout out to it here, Street Artist New England IPA. So it says on the can, we make the kind of beer that we love, unapologetic craft lagers and ales brewed with Detroit pride for people who enjoy great tasting beer. We're not seeking the approval of anyone else. We're just a group of hardworking, beer-loving folks that get to bottle our enthusiasm every day and share it with the world.
Oh, I like that saying.
That's really cool.
What are the specs?
So it is 6.5 ABV, and it doesn't really give me an IBU listing on here. But listen to this. This is so cool. Pairs with... You know how beers put a pairing? So it says pairs with, like you would pair with a food, creating, cultivating, and contemplating.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. So I'm excited about this beer.
The label kind of stuck out to me and I was like, I've got to get this. It looks so cool. I'm constantly jealous of people who get the tall cans with like the crazy artwork, because some of the other states in the US, that's like their normal beer. Labeling and bottling. So we tend to have more glass bottles in Michigan for our breweries.
Yeah, and a lot of times when they do a really cool art work on a can like that, they will. It's a peel and stick label.
Yeah, this one's like
and this
on
one
there.
is not. This is a nice. We'll be keeping this can.
We'll be keeping that can for sure.
Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna give her a pour.
It's really orange.
It is. Definitely hazy.
Sorry for the shakiness in this clip. We have a dog who's not been trained on photographer equipment etiquette, and
Wow.
he is really upsetting his mom right now. Oberon,
You can
no.
see the particles actually floating in this IPA. Definitely a very hazy
You're excited, aren't you?
IPA. I'm excited about this.
Oh,
Well, apricot and fruit. Maybe some raisin in there. It smells like a raisin-y smell.
I get apricot and papaya. I don't get raisin at all.
No?
Get in there.
All right.
So you can start chopping veggies.
I got work to do.
You do. You can drink while you work.
That's good.
Delicious?
That's good.
Out of 5?
4 1/4. It's just got the finish has got just the right amount of bitterness, and it's a sweet taste, nice heavy body, thick mouthfeel, just the right amount of fermentation, active enough with just enough bitterness at the end. Very good beer.
Okay, so while Dana is preparing all of the veggies for our pasta salad, I'm going to get the chicken, which is right here. I have already shown you what I've done to prepare this, but I'll insert it right here. Okay, so I have the chicken already cleaned, which for me just means I remove the excess fat, anything like that. What you do with this is you just open up a little pocket. So it's like you're going to butterfly, but then you don't, and that's happened on both. I did do it in the thickest part of, oh, this one's on this side, thickest part of the breast, and then we each have one, and I'm going to get a seasoned flour put together. Okay, so first I'm going to simply stuff both pieces of chicken. I'm either going to bake. I'm only going to put them in the pan for a little bit to toast and kind of get some brown to the chicken before I pop it in the oven. But long and short, it doesn't matter how much you stuff them because they're going to be baking. So it's not like you're doing a bunch of flipping inside the pan. That would be messy and not smart. So we have both of our pieces of stuffed chicken. Now what I'm going to do, since I'm trying to not use oil or eggs or anything, just because really, I'm actually just going to use my seasoned flour as almost like a dry rub. I'm going to rub the natural moisture of the chicken breast to get this to adhere as opposed to using some sort of egg base or egg wash or... You know, a lot of times I'll take almond milk mixed with a little bit of liquid smoke or lemon, and that would be my base as opposed to using eggs. This is a very similar seasoned flour mixture as I would do for homemade Kentucky Fried Chicken. I kind of make a copycat recipe to their 10-spice blend. This isn't exactly that, but it's very similar. So that is what we're having on the chicken. I'm gonna wash my hands and I'll show you a different angle. Okay, that is what we're dealing with. So the chicken is totally prepped. I do have some leftover filling, which I can use for a different meal, or I can use it for another piece of chicken if I wanted to make a leftover for Dana's lunch. Undecided, but I do have excess. Are you trying to say you do want leftovers for lunch?
I love having leftovers for lunch.
Okay, so I have about 2 tablespoons worth of Smart Balance butter in my pan down here. I'm gonna let the pan get nice and hot because the whole point of me using the pan before going in the oven is that I just wanna kind of brown the outside. and caramelize it a little bit before I put it inside the oven for baking it and, you know, thoroughly cooking it. So that is what I'm doing now. I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees, and this chicken takes about 35 to 45 minutes to be about 165 degrees internal temperature to be done. So we're gonna get this in there now and started now, because once he gets all the pasta salad stuff going, it'll go in the fridge until dinner is done. So enjoy this chicken sautéing montage. The chicken smells incredible already. I'm going to taste Dana's beer before jumping into my beer. Like I said, it smells like papaya and apricot. Very smooth, very subtle. It's not bitter on the front, but the back end it kind of mellows out. Or while it's subsiding, flavor-wise, it gets a little bitter at the back. So like now the aftertaste is bitter. But pretty good. It's a juicier beer for sure. The flavor profile is almost exactly what I was smelling, so pretty solid beer. Okay, so I have my chicken sautéed the way that I want it to be. It looks pretty good. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven for, like I mentioned, 35 to 45 minutes. Probably more on the 35 range since I did use the pan first.
And I think I am done. I'm just putting the finishing touches on my pasta salad right now.
I'm gonna zip through here because I want my beer.
Putting a little bit or a lot of bit of Parmesan on it.
I think you're good on the Parmesan. So you put the pesto and you put...
I put pesto, Italian dressing, and tomatoes, Parmesan, all of that stuff. I mixed it in and then I put the Parmesan on top as a topping.
Perfect. So the chicken's in the oven. So we have 34 minutes and 7 seconds. So you can throw it in the fridge. We'll let it cool and kind of just chill. Okay. This is the serving utensil as well if you want to keep that with it. And I'm going to open up my beer. So today I have a beer that I'm really excited about. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story why I'm excited. When I was very active on Twitter at one point, which was last year, I got to know my community and I have a lot of fellow small YouTubers that I consider friends that we would hang out and chat on Twitter through all hours of the night. We got in a conversation on whether or not I have tried birch beer. Because I love birch trees, we have them on our yard. It's like my favorite thing to use for backdrops for photography, aspens, birches, kind of that aesthetic. And I was like, no, I've never even heard of that. So I started looking online, and to get birch beer was actually pretty expensive. They essentially use the birch bark and flesh of the tree to boil it down to get the flavor, which is actually a sweet flavor, using for tea, for natural nutrients, and it has a lot of health benefits. So they use that oil for beer as well. Finally, I have found a birch beer that was not outlandishly expensive, but I did not have to buy online at my local beer store. So I have Birch Bark Porter by Kickstand Brewing Company. Never heard of Kickstand. There's a cute little gnome and lots of birch trees. Love this can, so excited about it. Definitely keeping it. And right on the front, you don't have to dig around the can or label to find the specs. It is 6.4% ABV, 19 IBUs. The gnome has a little hatchet. He's a lumberjack gnome. Kickstand says world-class beer, uniquely our own. 16 ounces, brewed with an abundance of 7 different specialty malts. This porter is rich with notes of fresh roasted coffee and decadent chocolate, which is pretty cool. And let me see if I can figure out where they are from. Oh my God, they're Michigan.
Really?
I didn't know. Commerce, Michigan. I don't know where that's located, and I've never heard of this beer. So we'll have to look that up, add that to our brewery bucket list on Yelp. I'm so excited about this. Definitely a different look to it than a normal porter. It has almost like a green or yellow undertone as opposed to a red. A little bit of a hard pour on that. All right, so I have a little more than a finger's width worth of head. The head is mocha colored, not flavored. Very dark in the glass.
Yeah.
Let me do a light test. I literally have no trace light coming through this from my ceiling light. Really earthy. And I'm not just saying that because of the birch trees and the name birch being in the porter. I'd like to say that's the case, but it's not. It actually smells like dirt a little bit, but not in a bad way. I don't know how to explain that. You have to see what I
Sign me up for this beer.
But it has like this earthiness to it, this richness. There is nods to like chocolate, but I'm really getting more of like French press coffee mixed with like earthiness, like a hike after a good rain, like kind of like that, but in a beer. Want to get a smell and tell me if you agree with that?
Fine. You said a lot.
I know. Well, I just said earthiness. Not worms, just dirt.
Yeah, I guess
Do you know what I mean?
The smell of the air after
Like the
a rain.
leaves during fall after a good rain when you're hiking.
Yeah.
It's like that nutmeg, cinnamon, decaying leaf smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I love that smell as someone who loves fall, especially hiking in the fall. Okay, let me get into this. I didn't expect that at all. Super roasty, a little bit nutty. Chocolate tasting more than coffee, even though I didn't smell the chocolate, but I smelled the coffee. I don't taste the coffee, I taste the chocolate. Very good beer, super well rounded, and it's an easy drinker. It's gonna have to be like going to a list of best porters of 2019. It does not beat Jake's Vanilla Bean Porter from last year, but I don't usually like porters, and this is a very good beer. I would give this probably like 3.75 out of 5, which is a pretty modest rating and a good rating if you're being critical on what makes a good beer. 3.75 is not too bad. Go ahead and get in there, babe. I need to check the chicken.
All right. It's okay. It's not mine. It wouldn't be for me.
Well, no, you're not
It
into.
definitely has the dark.
You get the roasty nuttiness?
Dark chocolate, almost a burnt bean, like the burnt coffee bean taste. And it also has like a sweet smell to it, like birch trees. Mm-hmm. In the finish on the nose.
One thing
that's kind of interesting.
One thing I expected the back of the can to allude to birch oil or it being a true birch beer. Nothing shows or tells me that based off that information, and you'd think they'd point that out if that was the case. Yeah. So I'm almost wondering if it's just like the name, like a cutesy name because we have so many birch trees.
So there's maybe not any birch.
It's possible. I just saw it and immediately wanted it, and I'm not regretting that I got it because I love the can.
Yeah,
but
you'd think they would call that out.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Exactly, but I saw the word birch and I'm like, holy crap, gotta get this. So I have to research that and see if that's even remotely close to what I was told I should try.
Yeah. While we're waiting for dinner to be done, I'm going to play with Oberon for a little bit because he desperately needs some attention, as witnessed by our extreme frustration while we were trying to cook and he kept throwing the ball. So,
It's not his fault, I just get worried about my equipment getting damaged.
he is an expert ball player, but he can also be very, very, very annoying. Yeah. Just continue to bring the ball. He's like...
he doesn't know who to give it to. He looked around.
I don't even know what to say about it. He just will continue to bring the ball.
Oh my god!
Well, it's kind of funny actually watching him slide with the hardwood floors.
Yeah.
One day he's going to smash into something.
I hope not. I don't want him to get hurt. It's okay, honey.
It's rude. We actually tried playing catch outside with snowballs.
And we went for a super long hike today with him as well, so it's not like he didn't get activity. He's a husky, he's only a year old, so he just requires a lot of attention. So my complaining is not because he needs attention. Obviously we got a dog, we know what it takes, but like I said, my camera equipment, the thought of it getting damaged drives me up the wall, so I have no patience for it at all. And if he's going to be the dog of a photographer, he does need to be trained on etiquette of being around my tripod, so I have to work on that a little bit. I don't know how that's going to happen.
He's very hard to take macro clips with.
No, I did really good. He's great. He's actually a great model. If you guys didn't know, I have an Instagram for him called Life with Oberon, where I post
shameless self-promotion.
I post dog photography and kind of daily updates of our journey with having a dog now after 6 years of being together. We've added a dog to our life. So it's commentary from his perspective. So I'm speaking for him.
Very funny. It's very funny.
Yeah, so that's kind of fun. This beer is growing on me more as I drink it too. So dinner is served.
Yes.
Very excited about it.
Looks delicious.
All right.
You said this was healthy?
Minimal seasonings. And there's lots of spinach and stuff. This is only, if we're talking oils, this is unhealthy. Because the salad has Italian dressing in it. But otherwise, everything in the salad, the pasta salad, if you're not trying to do no carbs, is healthy.
No.
It's all fresh vegetables, barely any seasonings.
I made the hell out of the salad. How delicious.
Oh my god. I will link this down below and share all of my ingredients. You didn't even try the filled part.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, it's so good. The flavors are like absolutely perfect. It tastes like something I got in a restaurant.
It's delicious.
Oh my god, I'm totally making this again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the salad a little bit too. Get a tomato in there, get some asparagus in there. Perfect contrast of textures and flavors for the dish. And I got some garlic bread. This is a great meal.
Good job. You did great.
Thank you for joining us for none of our Brewing Up a Meal.
Not a bonfire beer review.
No. Drink good beer and eat good food.
Cheers.
See you in the next one.
Thank you.